Can.
All right, it is 5 o'clock and we're ready to roll.
Awesome.
Today today I got Wayne Wong here with me for the 1 hour with Lender. Today we're gonna spin it a little bit different. We're just gonna ask each other some questions, and so it's really for entertainment and education. We want you to be entertained for an hour and hopefully walk away with something. So, a little background with me and Wayne, we've known each other for quite a while. I met him when I was a freshman in college, and we met through the dorms. We stayed at Alamitos in Cal Poly Pomona, and how many years later, like 20 years later, we're sitting here and doing
It's
business
crazy.
together. If I knew Wayne was going to be a real estate agent, I probably would have been more obedient, like nicer. But no, I think him and I became really good friends even before he was a real estate agent, and not before I became a loan officer, a mortgage broker. Yeah. So Wayne, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell
Thank
us
you.
who you are and what you do, and what is that one thing that you learned during pandemic?
Oh,
What is
one
that
thing I
one
learned during the
skill set?
pandemic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, guys, my name is Wayne Wong. I'm with the Louvet Group in Keller Williams, Beverly Hills, and I've been doing real estate for about 7 years now. I would say, and it's really tough to keep track of that number because it's just so long ago. But yeah, so my background, I started out, I was doing purchasing for kind of like a Whole Foods for dogs. It's a small pet boutique. And I started there from store one. I left at around store eight after 8 years, and now they're probably around like store 22, I believe. Um, I was doing purchasing, buying everything, retail products, grooming. They do grooming, so I would buy grooming products for them. And I was just sitting behind the desk a lot, and I didn't think it was like the best use of my skills being out in front of people. And I really cared about people as well. And so did the company. So after about 8 years, I got my real estate license. Didn't know if I was really going to jump into real estate full time. And I did it because my parents actually own property. And I felt that all the skills that I've acquired in those years of, tenants moving out and me fixing them up, I kind of knew a little bit about the bones of property, of home. So I quit cold turkey and jumped into real estate full time. It wasn't the easiest couple of years at first, but after since year three, year four, things have really started to pick up. I've learned a ton, just from experience, and working with you, Benson, has helped me quite a bit too. So that's where we're at right now, and now I'm part of a big team, and we're growing and we're aggressive. You know.
Awesome.
So to answer your question, one thing I learned during this pandemic, it's whew, for the housing market, it's urgency. Urgency, urgency, urgency. If you see a house, go out the day it comes out, the second it comes out, and go see it that day if you really want it.
Isn't
Yep.
isn't it crazy how the pandemic has driven the demand, really the demand of housing up so much?
So
Hasn't it?
much, yeah. It's crazy.
Has-
And that's also, influencing the price
Yeah.
as you see too.
Yeah, so if you were to guess, like, is it demand that's driving the market, or is it the supply that's driving the market?
It's both. It's limited supply. There's not, well, let me take that back. There is supply. It's just that supply runs out so fast because of the demand overtakes that, right? So we see homes pop up every day, right? But there's just so many people snatching them up so fast, it seems like there's no inventory.
Yeah, I feel it, I see it, and we have clients that are putting in offers, and within 2 3 days of a house going on a market, it's poof gone. Like
Yep.
You need to either have a really strong, get all your things together, get your loan approved and ready to go, remove all contingencies or whatever it takes to get that accepted, and
Right.
then you might have a chance to go against some cash
A
offer and
chance.
yeah, chance. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of cash offers right now. I would it be because of all the monies pumping into the market from the last couple of years, this year and
Yeah.
last year?
I think it's everyone just sitting at home and not doing anything during the pandemic, not going to bars, not going to Disneyland, things like that, and just saving tons of money. And they realize that now that, working remote from home is a very good possibility. So that's what they're seeing. They're willing to just pay that little bit extra and be more comfortable at home.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. So I know, man, I truly want to thank you for sending the bulk of your buyers to us. We pre-approved a lot of your friends and family,
Hmm.
or ultimately getting them a home. So I always wonder, like there's a lot of real estate agents out there, and I feel like you're one of those that just keep getting referrals from your friends and family. Like, how do you, as a real estate agent, how do you get them to trust you? And I always see other people also having like, they have like a mentality. Oh, I don't want to use a real estate agent. I'll just go straight to a for sale by owner. Like, what do you
Hmm.
want to say to those people too?
Right. So I would say for sale by owner, that's great and all if you want to try to save costs, but it is tough to do it on your own. And the biggest thing that we can kind of offer too is the contracts, right? Are you protected by any of the contracts that you're in? And if you're selling it by yourself, who knows 2, 3 years down the line, if you don't disclose something or the buyer finds something out, you're held liable for that. So it's a very big responsibility.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
So how do you get all your friends and family? I know I have a couple of other realtor friends who are also watching this. So how do you get your friends and family to really reach out to you and really think of you when it comes to real estate? It's instead of like, oh, I already bought a house, and then you're like, oh man, how come you didn't reach out to me? How do
Oh,
you
well,
do
don't get me wrong. There are a lot of times that has happened.
that?
But I
Well,
think the
I don't know.
biggest
From your
thing,
track record, it doesn't seem that way.
the biggest thing for me is I think I let my actions speak for itself, right? I treat everyone the same, no matter if they're a friend of a friend of a friend, right? I treat them as like, hey, this is someone that I see very dear and close to me, and I'm going to treat them the way I would treat a family member, right? So I give top-notch service. Anytime they ask me to be there, I'm there. I make sure I'm available. I understand that they're working. If they work from 9 to 5, right? They don't want to be taking my calls from 9 to 5. That's just bothering them at their job. So I understand that their off time should be my on time, right? Um, and I just it just boils down to customer service. I care for my clients, and I think they see that, and they feel that, hey, if I'm going to refer Wayne to someone else, I want that same level of care that I had. Go to someone else.
I totally agree. Like,
Yeah.
all our clients have regular jobs. Yeah, some are nurses that maybe work different shifts, but for the most part, we're trying to cater to their time schedule, right?
Right.
And really have a robust team where, hey, when the lenders are all working, we have a team to support those lenders and trying to get those loans through. And hopefully we can also support the clients on their off time as well. And I,
Right.
I I remember there's like many, many nights where you will three-way FaceTime a call with me. I'm like in the middle of working out after hours. I'm like, okay, let's put everything down and let's chit chat for a couple hours real quick. Yeah, I still remember the sessions.
Right. So that's a testament to you too, Benson. for, being there. I don't do this alone. I need you guys there. And for you guys to give that level of service during your workouts makes me look even better.
I'm all sweaty. Man, yeah, I think I still remember one of the conversation was like I think the guy was trying to figure out which real estate agent to go with, and
Right.
some friend of a friend who is a cousin and just got their license, and they're looking for help. And I'm like,
Hmm.
wait. You got when you look for a real estate agent, you gotta there are a couple of things you gotta look for. Um,
Right.
for us, we definitely want to work with real estate agents that really know their stuff instead of us babysitting them. Right? We
Hmm.
want to work with a lot of Waynes that know the contract inside out, the timeline of escrow, the contracts, what to look out for when it comes to a home inspection, or even looking around in the house.
Hmm.
Sometimes we get some newer real estate agents that come in, we get into escrow, and we mentioned a couple of times, water heater strap needs to be double strapped.
Yes.
And we spend so much extra money to go get those reinspection because the first inspection failed, and they need to go out and do a reinspection because they have to restrap or double strap it. But I think
Hmm.
I never had a problem with you. You always look out for your clients to make sure
I
they don't
cross my
make
T's and dot my I's and make sure all that stuff is good before we even take another step moving forward.
awesome. Good for
Yeah.
you. Good for you. So earlier you mentioned that you're in a team.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about, like, we always hear people who are solo agents or people who are in a team. Like, what's the difference? As a consumer, does it matter to them?
I think it matters a lot. Um, Say if I don't have the best idea, right? I go and I talk to my team about it, right? They give me feedback, good feedback, hopefully, and we critique each other, and it helps us improve our craft, right? And how can we help our client get the best level of customer service, right? So let's say I go on vacation for 2, 3 days, right? And I'm not there to show properties. I'm not going to tell my client, sorry, you're going to have to wait till I come back. We have team members there to take care of you for that. So it's the price of one agent. You'll get 10 brains. You know,
Absolutely, and I,
yeah,
I I truly feel that too. Like, because we work in my company, we have a team of 15 or 20. Sometimes we get clients, oh, who's who, but then at the same time, you'd rather have too many hands than not enough hands too, right? If someone
right,
were to
right.
go, especially during the pandemic, like, who's getting sick or who's getting the vaccine and they're out for a couple of days, and
Hmm.
someone else needs to step in. So at that time, I'm like, I'm so glad that we have a team where someone can just step right in.
Right. And it also works for listings too, right? So the more team members we have, that's more exposure, more Instagram posts, more Facebook lives that we're doing here, right? So we can definitely reach more people and help people get their homes sold faster too, not just help buyers.
Yep, totally agree. And I
Yep.
mean, the more brains you have, I think people, when people think about buying and selling real estate, they just think, oh, a regular owner selling a regular house, a regular buyer, and it's like, oh, so easy, right? But then there's so many times where it's just very chaotic, where maybe someone pass away and there's a probate sale, and like little things that just go crazy when it comes to a transaction. We have
Yeah.
a transaction that has like six chains of reaction. Like the buyer is buying the seller's house, the seller is buying the next seller's house,
Uh-huh.
and it just go down the list. And you need
Yeah,
someone
so
really experienced.
we do. And my business partner has been doing this for over 35 years. and there's nothing that I can't ask him that he hasn't. I mean, we see things, new things every day, but for the most part, he knows what to do. So it's, you need that support for sure.
Yeah, but now let me ask you, what separate you and the big box like Redfin or Zillow real estate or
Whew, that's a big question in itself, and there's a lot to unravel there. I think the biggest thing for me and what sets me apart from those big box ones is that level of customer service that I can provide to my clients. Um, if you go to a big box store, I think it's they're just focused on that one transaction, right? And once they're done with that, good luck finding them again. Good luck trying to build some sort of relationship with them if you need something, right? Um, I don't I don't think they have that type of relationship that we have, as lender and agent, right? And that's crucial to getting offers accepted nowadays. So there's a lot there that sets me apart. I, I can go even deeper. I give that level of service where, if stuff needs to get painted or, just little things around the house that need to be fixed. Again, I told you I used to work in apartments, so I know how to do these little things that that requires that level of attention, right? So I can do that for my clients where I don't think any normal big box person is going to do.
wait, do you take off your realtor hat and put on a painter's hat and go at
Yeah,
work?
I actually have a stack of 1,000 hats here. I don't wear them all the time, but
Awesome, awesome. But I work with I have a couple of really amazing Redfin agents, and I think it all boils down to the realtor itself too. And but I can't agree with you more that a lot of the agents that are from these big box, they might not stay, you know, long term.
right. And don't get me wrong, there are great agents out there that do work for big box companies. But it's just it's tough because, correct me if I'm wrong, they kind of toss clients to them, right? They don't have a choice of who they work with, right? So, they
Yeah.
can spend 20 hours with one client and they have no choice but to work with them full time. And then where does their time go to spend on someone that is that they need to spend time with? It's yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So
Yeah,
today we also want to talk about like first time home buyer and something that people rarely talk about is a second time home buyer.
you're right.
Yeah, I think
So
so. First time home buyer, everyone knows that it's their first time buying a house. As long as you have your credit, income, assets, your for your down payment, and you got to get your offer accepted these days. Yes,
mhm.
and boom, you're in a house, right? How about like second time home buyer?
Yeah, so this is exactly where we're running into, right? Everyone wants to sell their house because the prices are crazy, but where do they move after? This is
Yeah.
this is kind of where we fall in, and we try to um, coordinate everything, right? Coordinate a move so they're not moving. They're just moving from one place to the other, and they're not homeless during the time. Or a lot of things that I'm seeing now is people are selling the homes, and then they put their stuff in storage, and then they move to an apartment for maybe 2, 3 months, 6 months, probably until they find a new home, and then they got to move again, right? So there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot of ways to handle that situation so that you're not homeless, I would say.
Tell
And no, but I did. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
tell us more about it.
Yeah, so there's little scenarios that we can do or contingencies that we can create for these second time home buyers that are looking to sell their home. Um, do we submit an offer with the contingency of, hey, we're going to sell our home first, and then we're going to promise to buy your home? Or do we buy first, carry two mortgages, and then look for the second home, and then leave that home leave their first home pretty much vacant, and they're paying two mortgages. I wanted to ask you a question though, Benson. Buying the second home first, how does that really affect their purchasing power?
Well, when it comes to buying a second home first, depending on what you're gonna do with the first home. So when we have a client who is looking to sell their first home and then buy a second home, we often ask like we are you okay with being homeless in the meantime? Now a lot of times it's a no. Then we go into a question where would it be okay if you buy first? Do you need the money from the sale of your home and then to go buy the next home?
Right.
If the answer, so we go through a series of questions. If the answer is yes, they need the money, then there isn't a whole lot we can do. Um, if that's where it is, like if they're ready to buy at that point. If they're planning maybe to buy next year or the year later, uh we equity right now is at all-time high. People are looking
Hmm.
to do a lot of cash out, for paying off their credit cards, paying off their student loans, maybe paying off their spouse. um
Are you
uh,
seeing that a lot? People cash out refi to go purchase a second home before
So a
moving
lot of
in?
people come to me and tell me they want to cash out refi to pay for the down payment. The thing is, like when you're doing a refinance or taking out cash, and we classify you as either your investment property or primary home. So primary home, you usually get a better interest rate than an investment property,
Hmm.
just because of risk. And and so if I were to give you a loan for a primary home and within 12 months you go and buy another primary home, then it raises red flags. So
Hmm.
on your deed of trust, when you go sign that paper, the loan documents, it says you're going to live there for 12 months.
I see.
So a lot of times I'm like, hey, let's not get into that gray zone, and let's get you refinanced today so you can buy in the next year or two. A
Hmm.
lot of times people can get around like, oh, but I'm paying for interest right now. Well, do you want to be homeless for a couple of months to buy the next house after you sell the
Right.
first one? So it's just like, where what do you it's weighing out your options. But it's
It's
always
it's definitely a
in
tricky
the head.
process right now, trying to navigate the sale of one, and especially in this competitive market, I think just trying to get them into the second home.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a client in that situation right now. We're about to list the property in about 2 weeks, and we're going to have a contingency in there that she is going to stay at the home, and there's no option. The buyer is going to have to wait until we find a replacement property. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So there are other programs like bridge loans. So if you have enough high enough equity, you can qualify for a bridge loan. So basically, I'll give you one blanket loan to cover both properties, and then
Hmm.
it'll have a release clause where once you sell your original home, um, then then you pay back some of the money from the bridge loan. It releases the clause, and then you can refinance out of it into a conventional loan. So
Oh
that's a
wow.
second option. But it's mostly for people who have a almost free and clear house.
I see.
Yeah. If you're at 80% loan to value and you're trying to buy a next home that's also 80% loan to value, then it'll be a little hard. What I
Hmm.
would also suggest is to like see how can you qualify for both mortgages. So can you put in at least 5-10% down of your own money? This is why I always tell people like don't pay more than what your minimum is. If you have extra, just put it in a savings account and or a small investment account where you can let it grow. You talk to your financial advisor, let it grow, and then to the point where it's big enough, and you can pay down a chunk of money if you want. But don't
Right.
lock in your money, because you guess what? The only way you can access that money in the house is either through a refi or cash out refi, or you sell the house. There's no other
So
way.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I always get asked by first time home buyers is how much down should I put, right?
Yeah,
And I tell them with this interest rate, just borrow as much as you can.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
We always talk to clients where they're like, "Oh, I have 15% in the bank. Should we put all of it, right?" Well, it's like it depends on where you are in life, but typically, if you have 15% in the bank, should you put 15% down to pay less PMI? No, I would say leave some reserves. We are at an all-time high in the stock market and the real estate
Hmm.
market. You gotta have some reserves.
Right. Couldn't agree more.
So, so what's next after a second time? Third time?
That's a yeah, third time, fourth time investment properties, and that's where you guys come.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you work with a lot of investors?
I don't at the moment, but we are as a team, right? We are trying. That is something that we are going after more and more. Developers, investors, and we're hitting fixers really, really hard, just because we see a ton of value there, and that's where everyone has the cash to do it, right? And those cash guys, they can close 7 days really, really fast. Yep.
Yeah. Wait, are you trying to list the investment properties or are you trying to represent a
Both, both. Actually, right now we have I would say a list of buyers with like 40 million just ready to spend. Yeah.
ding? So for those people who are listening and you guys have like a what do you call those?
Anywhere from a million to 10 million, we have buyers. Yeah.
And they're looking for fixers, right?
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome.
Anywhere in LA. The tough thing is just there's just no inventory. There's such low inventory. Yeah.
Yeah. So as a real estate agent, your job is to create more inventory. So what are the things that you do to help I guess sellers sell their house and because second time home buyer need to sell their house too. And also
Right.
like what do you do to help the economy get more inventory?
Yeah, right. So what are we doing to try to get more listings? We're hitting the ground pretty hard. We're sending mailers, we're door knocking. We have a group of 10, right? And we keep consistently growing. So we're cold calling, door knocking, dropping off mailers, walking around the neighborhood, driving through neighborhoods, actually identifying these distressed homes, right? And we're contacting these people that need help. And I think, a lot of people don't realize, they've been living in that house for say 30, 40 years. They don't understand, they're not up to date with the market and what it's doing, right? So they don't know that they're sitting on a huge pile of cash that they can sell and live a very comfortable life, maybe in a better home.
Yeah, yeah. So do
Yeah.
you think do you think now that the economy seemed to be opening up a little bit, or at least it was opening up a little bit, um, and then now it got closed, or you know D variant, Delta variant. But
Hmm.
do you feel like inventory is coming back?
I do feel that inventory is creeping up a little bit, just a little bit. But the thing is, it hasn't changed too much from what we've seen 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago. Um, as soon as a property comes out, it gets snatched up, within, it depends the price range, right? So let's just say something under a million, 1.2, something like that. Everyone can get loans under that price range, so it gets snatched up pretty quick. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, inventory is there, it just goes quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with equity all time high, like would that be a good talking point with your sellers to sell their house? But if they're gonna sell their house, where are they going to move to?
That's the million dollar question, right? So I hate to put sellers in that position of, I'm not in the business to con someone into selling their home just so I can make money, right? Like, where are they going to go? And what I'm seeing a lot is people going more east, further east away from the city, maybe even out of state, right? But I'm not going to tell someone, hey, sell your house for the sake of just making money, right? We have to find them a replacement home first, right? I don't want to put them into an apartment for a year or
Homeless.
short-term rental and then, yeah. So that's the tricky part. It's where do these people go? And I think that's what's also causing some of the low inventory too, is because they understand if we sell our house, we don't know where to move to, right? They have kids. They don't want to change schools. There's a lot of variables there.
Yeah. I do feel like, I do feel like inventory is coming back. There is still a lot of demand.
Hmm.
A lot of first time home buyers that are they have that 5% down, the 10% down, but it's like, okay, you buy the house who someone's been living there for 20, 30 years with a bunch of deferred maintenance, and they have
Right,
the money to buy but they don't have the money to renovate, you
right.
know like that. I think that's when your investors come in, rehab it, and sell it as a complete package back to the first time home buyer.
Yeah, yeah. And that pricing is going to come at a premium, right? But I think that's the reality of it. But a lot of our generation and the first time home buyers, they're not looking to do the maintenance. So they're okay with paying, the little extra that it's going to take. Plus, they're just borrowing the money, right? It's not coming directly out of their pocket. And
Hmm.
that's where you guys step in, right?
That's right. That's right. I think it gets rolled into the house, right? It gets.
Hmm.
I was chatting with someone the other day. Like I'd rather buy a more expensive house that's completed than an ugly house that I need to work on, because who knows how long I'm gonna have to work on it for.
Right, right. And all
And
my buyers feel the same way. And the funny thing is I see a lot of people going towards new construction homes too.
yeah,
Brand new. Yep.
yeah, we helped one of your clients with the new construction,
You
and
did.
and how long? Oh my God, there was like a 3 week turnaround time from a question to an answer.
Yeah. So that's a good point because a lot of people don't know that with new constructions, you can go with other lenders. Most of the time they kind of trick the buyers into thinking that, hey, you have to go with our lender and we're going to give you whatever rate it is, and okay, you get some credit back, but maybe that's not the best scenario, right?
Yeah, so man, there I feel like when buyers are going into brand new construction, they're so vulnerable because uh,
They're happy.
one
They're
one one they normally walk in with no real estate agent, so they're
Yeah,
talking to the sales office.
right.
Um, so they can only hear one side of the story. That's why you need someone to represent you guys when you guys go buy a house.
Exactly.
Because the listing agent can say whatever they want. And they're always protecting the seller, even though they're supposed to protect you too.
Mhm.
And then number two, they want you to use their lender, the new construction lender that gets fed, hundreds and hundreds of loans a day, and your client was trying to reach the loan officer and ask him a question, and it took 3 weeks for them to get an email answer, right?
Right, right. So let's talk about that a little bit more because I love that story. I think the lender was saying that they were going to get 8,000 or 5,000 in credit, right, towards their new home.
Yeah.
But you helped us do a little bit of digging on their loan estimate and tell everyone what you found out.
Oh my God. I don't really remember the detail. So it was, hey buyer, send me your loan estimate, and then I was going to, oh wow, your interest rate's great, but do you know that this is an FHA loan? And she was like, what's an FHA loan? And then I was like, oh, let's talk about that later. And oh, you're paying this many points for this loan, right? And then she's like,
Hmm.
but I'm getting a lot of credit. I'm like, yeah, but you're paying a lot of points. And they offset each other, and you're really not getting that credit for this rate. And I think what ended up happening is we not only we can provide a lower rate for the same FHA loan, and we were able to not charge any points and give them the same amount of credit,
Right,
which is
right.
incredible.
Amazing. I mean, that's a testament to you guys of, but
So
that is kind of where an agent does come in, right? Because let's just say at the sales office, that's fine. They're there to sell, and for the most part, the house is pretty straightforward, right? It's brand new, not too many problems or anything like that. And that's where I come in, right? Because my clients didn't know that, they can go to another lender, and luckily, we have this great relationship where I can refer them to you, and help them not only just get the home, but help them save money 30 years down the line for their loan.
yeah, yeah, and really like just a second set of eyes just to look at something that big that's happening in your
Right.
life, like you're buying a house. It wouldn't hurt to get a second second set of
Right.
eyes just to look at the terms, the loan estimate. What am I getting myself into, right?
Exactly. And a lot of people think, they have to pay us agents. Well, as a buyer, you don't have to pay us agents anything. We work for free.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
with your own agent, you'll probably end up getting the same deal if you were to go straight to a listing agent, if not better. Because
Hmm.
I don't think anyone ever get a better deal when it comes to a listing agent. We
Right.
end up being, oh man, I might get in trouble. I need to ask my lawyer. But I feel like sometimes when the client going in straight to a listing agent, we end up being that their buyer's agent just to help them out, just to give them that extra 2 cents that they needed from the buyer's agent. You
Hmm.
know, when something goes wrong, like who's a listing agent gonna go, side against?
Right. Right.
So
And that's again, that kind of ties in with the whole team thing, right? So if you're a solo agent and you're trying to represent both sides, someone's going to feel left out, right? As a team, we can have another agent take care of the buyer side and still have their best interests at heart, and they can negotiate against me. I'd love that.
yep, yep. And now it's not so much like, hey, are you gonna be okay with this one? No offense to a lot of the listing agents that double dip, but it's just sometimes I our team has to get involved when it comes to a double dip, and we're like, why didn't you get your own agent?
It's
But
not
for
all about the money. That's that's
it's
that's
not.
kind of, yeah.
Seriously, it's not. It's protecting yourself, protecting, the seller, protecting everybody.
Right, right.
Yeah. And speaking of, the lender from the new construction, how about the real estate agent for the new construction? A lot of people, they walk into a new construction thinking that, oh, I can save more money going to maybe even get some carpet upgrade. Like,
Hmm.
what do you think about
I
about
think
that?
I think it's I think no matter what, it's always best to get represented either way. And a lot of people don't know this, but you do need to bring your real estate agent the first time you go see a property. So if you do need help and you go to new construction, please contact me first, and I will go there with you to kind of walk through everything, and make sure you're taken care of. I think when first time home buyers go into these new constructions, they walk into a sales office, right? And that's exactly what they are. They're there to just sell the property. They're not there to look out for your best interest. So, it's great that, they offer services like carpet or something like that, like a free upgrade of one thing, or something small, like a couple thousand or something like that, right? Um, but I see time and time again, like clients that can potentially lose out on a lot of money because they trick them into upgrades that they don't really need, right? So if you can do those upgrades after you buy the home, you'll be saving a ton of money. And buyers just think if I'm gonna do an upgrade, I have to go with the builder, and that's what we have to do.
No, you don't,
I
right?
know.
So, have you ever negotiated something for your clients where it's like, wow, like I've heard of real estate agents like getting like a whole year of HOA um, credit for them, like
Hmm.
no pay HOA or something.
Are you talking for new builds
Yeah,
or
Bill.
just anything in particular?
In that case, do you have any cool stories that you can tell us?
Just aside from, getting price reductions on a home, honestly, like every home sale is so different. I'm usually able to negotiate some sort of money back on almost every home sale. And I think that just comes from, just having a good relationship with the agent and letting them know that, hey, we're not here to steal money from your client. We're just we want to get what's fair, right? Um, so yeah, I think it's just saving my clients money. And I think that's that's the answer I have for you.
It's true. Oh yeah, I've heard, real estate agents can actually help um, buyers when it comes to new construction, like negotiate like a year of free HOA fee or year of no Mellows. Like,
Right.
so I bring your agent. They're going to be able to get you something that you can't get from the sales office. But I
Something,
mean, right
yeah.
now, like, is there a line out the door for new construction?
For these constructions, I would say yes. And that's where, if you have an agent, they can scour the market and see what new constructions come out before the mass knows about it, right? So they can get you in before the lines start piling up, right? And
That's
that's what
true.
that's what we just did with our recent client, who just closed in Chino, right? We found a
Yeah,
property that was not really kind of known to the masses, and we got them in there.
man. So powerful because as a consumer, you're good at, like a nurse, you're good at putting needles in someone's arm. You're saving lives, and
Hmm.
let's not make you a real estate agent too, or a loan officer. Like, let's leave that to us, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So with rates this low, rates are like at all-time low. The 10-year bonds low, low, low. Like,
Hmm.
what do you think? How do you think it's affecting, the market space?
In terms of just like buying power or
Yeah,
just
buying
people
power.
going out there. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy because I see, under $1 million, almost everyone and anyone will be throwing in an offer, right? If it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, then they just keep throwing offers out there. I was just I've seen a house where we bid on with my clients, and the agents are putting deadlines now for offers, and it's creating this feeding frenzy where,
So smart.
yeah, we're I hate it, but it is what it is. But we're going up against, 30 plus offers, right? Just because interest rates are just so low. Everyone wants to buy a house right now. And it's super, super competitive right now.
Yeah, not only interest rates all-time low, I feel like mortgage insurance rate is also all-time low.
Hmm.
Dude, like, I have so like I always ask my clients who are putting 10%, 15% down, like, what do you think the mortgage insurance is, right? On a four or $500,000 house. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, It's like $300. I'm like, I wish I can keep the difference, but it's more like 130, $111. It's so low, especially when you have a good credit score. So
Right.
so right now, I feel like right now it's such a great time to buy, not just like you're gonna gain so much equity just because you have a low interest rate, your payments gonna go a big chunk of your payments gonna go to your principal, and it's just creating more and more value.
Yeah, definitely. But it's crazy, all these deals and again, so I kind of want to go back to what I learned during this pandemic is urgency, right? So yes, we are competing against, 30 plus offers, but at the same time, I'm having success, trying to get these people and beating these offers.
I know.
Yeah.
I know urgency. Sometimes I get an email or text message or a phone call from Wayne. Hey, I need a pre-approval letter. Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Offers due by 9 a.m. on a Sunday.
But I
Why?
thank you. Thank you for helping me through that. It's a big relief to my clients, and they love you for that. Don't get me wrong.
Well, thank you. So because of that, because I value sleep, I we invested in this program where now you can print your own pre-approval letter. As long as we pre-approve them and we can turn on a button so you can print your own pre-approval letter nights and weekends whenever you want, whenever
I
the
think that was I think that was created just for me.
I think so. I think so. Gosh.
So Benson, I wanted to ask you a question, and I hope you can kind of clarify this for everyone else. What's the difference between a pre-approval letter and a DU? Because a lot of people don't know what a DU is, but it's really kind of helped me in my business and help my buyers, get the homes.
Yeah. That's DU is such a big thing. Everyone talks about DU. For those who are not in the industry, DU is called desktop underwriting. And basically, it's a program. We put in the loan application. It'll have your details in there, your credit score, your credit profile. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, I don't want my credit report to be pulled." Well, it has everything in there that we need. Anyway, so we put in all that information, and it goes into this underwriting software. The software has years of data of who's going to pay the mortgage, who's not going to pay the mortgage, and spit out either you're going to be approved, eligible, or you're going to be not approved, not eligible. So, sometimes we're surprised that some people who are putting in less down payment and have a slightly lower FICO score, their debt to income ratio just need to be a little bit lower than what a higher credit score, more down payment individual would need. So I think that DU approval is very, very important for, like, we don't want surprises. We don't want like, oh yeah, I've done this many times before, they're going to get approved. Well, DU changes almost every month. Their risk
So,
profile, depending on the market, they change every single month.
so does that DU pretty much guarantee that the buyer is going to get the loan?
Yes, actually, if what goes in comes out, right? Crap in, crap out. So if your data is correct, and you follow the findings and complete the loan, yes, yes, you can get the loan. But if
Hmm.
you just inflate the income and inflate the reserves, and maybe it won't close because the underwriter can be like, well, he doesn't make 15,000, he makes more like 5,000. So it's
Hmm.
really important to put in the right information for a
Yeah,
lot of
because I had a client win on a home. We weren't the highest offer, but the listing agent told me because you submitted that DU, the DU was gold, and I think that's what set us apart from
yeah
from all the
yeah
other offers.
It goes to tell you're telling the listing agent basically like, hey, I did my homework, my buyer did their homework, they got their pre-approval, DU findings, even credit score, like all in a package. It's kind
Hmm.
of like, when you go apply for a job and you just give them your resume, maybe that's not enough. You need a cover letter, you need, all that. And then your employer would be like, "Oh wow, you're serious about this job, right?" The listing
Right,
agent can be like, "You're serious about buying this house. You did your
right,
stuff." I know there are lenders, big box lenders that you can just go online, input how much you make, how much your credit score is estimated to be at, and you can print a pre-approval letter.
wow.
And I'm like, mind blown,
That's
mind
fraud,
blown.
right? At some point.
What is it?
That's fraud at some point, right? Or
That
it's
I
just
don't
very, very
know.
misleading.
There's no verification, no check and balances. So
That's crazy.
I will tell you offline who that is. So just look out for their pre-approval letters.
Okay.
Now for those who want to know, you can DM me. I'll let you know who it is. I don't want to get sued.
Good, because on my listing coming up, I want to make sure to watch out for that.
Watch out for that pre-approval letter. But when the pre-approval letter comes from NestMade Mortgage, it's always golden. We always make sure
Hmm.
their income's verified, their credit's verified, and their assets are verified. We don't see. I don't want to waste my time. And I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste anyone's time. You know, time is
Yeah,
money.
and that's the biggest thing that I've learned too. Time is like our most valuable asset, right? So I, I do this for my clients. I take the time to like get to know them and get to know their needs and wants and really kind of get into their mindset of what they want, right? Not what they need or what they want to see or dream of. It's so when I go and I look at for properties, like I get into their mindset and I'm only sending them stuff that they can afford, right? I'm not sending them dream homes that go beyond their expectations, because if I do that and we go out and we go look at them and they can't afford it, then I'm just wasting their time, and then they they get so excited about these homes that they can't afford, and I say, what am I supposed to say? Well, you know,
This is
sorry.
when I come in and go, you're not approved for that house. Or hey,
Exactly.
maybe this is what you need to do to shift things around and you get approved. But there's so many loans that are marginal, like, oh, almost approved, almost not approved. But this is
Hmm.
where we come in and make that happen for you and your clients, really.
Yeah, and save them time. Yeah, so they can go spend it with their family, and they're not spending 5 hours every weekend going looking at homes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen so many people going to look at homes, and it's like, okay, show me your financials. Like, oh, like, so you were looking at homes for fun?
So yeah, yeah, I guess yeah, that's really important to get, pre-approved first, especially through you guys, right?
Thank you, thank you. Hey, I know you've actually done a loan with us too. Thank you for supporting.
I did, and it was an amazing experience to
Not-
to go through it on the other side. Yeah,
was it easy?
it was very, very easy, very, very easy. And the best thing is, you guys kept on top of me when I didn't get the documents fast enough to you guys. You weren't bothering me, but you were, letting me know that, the faster we can do this for you, you can start saving more money.
No.
So I
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
I
We
I
want to
loved
see.
your team. And no, I loved your team, and I loved going through the process. So I know what my clients go through now.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we try to keep improving our system. If anything, like I spend the bulk of my time into looking at little ways to make our clients experience better every
Hmm.
day, every time they apply their loan with us. Sometimes we have growing pains, but for the most part we're here to elevate their experience, your experience as a real estate agent
Yeah,
working with us.
and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I think we're almost up here. Should we take some questions? Do we have any questions from our
If there
audience?
are,
If not, I think we can probably wrap it up. Wayne, we'll post your information. We'll post the replay here and post your information. So if anyone wants to get your contact, we'll post it up.
yeah,
Thank you
I would love
so
that.
much, man.
Thank you, Benson. And thank you to the whole NestMade team. How about that?
Hey, we all thank you. All right, man.
All right,
Talk to
Benson.
you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
Thank you.
having me.
Bye.
Bye.